everybody. Welcome to the last demo day of 2025 for KP Ready Co. We have a jam-packed day of different technology platforms across the building life cycle. And so we've got 6 presenters today. We'll do about 10 minutes each. And then any questions you have on each of the different platforms that's being presented today, feel free to drop any questions you have in the Q&A section. And we'll go ahead and get those answered after each presenter is ready or is finished with their product. We just had our successful Vibathon and AEC Summit this week in Phoenix, Arizona. It was great to see everybody out there, and the engagement was incredible. We will be announcing some things on our Q1 event for 2026 on January 13th. That will be in San Francisco, California. So keep an eye out for announcements on that, as well as our other quarterly events that will be coming up for the 2026 year. So to get things kicked off, we're going to start with Robert with Hearth Built. So Robert, if you want to go ahead and introduce your product and show everybody what you guys are working on.
Absolutely. Thanks, David. Hi, everyone. My name is Robert. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Hearth. I've been an architect for about 8 years, and before transitioning to product design and starting Hearth. So I'll go ahead and share real quick. So Hearth is a digital library for architects, interior designers, and contractors. I think we can all attest building materials are one of the most critical parts of the design and build process. It is a huge cost driver. It impacts the way that people perceive each project. And it's also one of the most complicated elements that we deal with on the design side. Finding validated products, even products that we've previously used. I mean, I know both designers and builders, we will tend to specify the same products over and over, because we know them, we trust them, and frankly, because we have that information on hand most of the time. But even that information is scattered between, different product folders, online links, spreadsheets, people write stuff down. There's really a lack of a clear system to organize all of that. And so we thought, why don't we take the same kind of principles of BIM, where you have all these parameters compiled into one object, and then combine it with the visual properties of a Pinterest board. So it's a very visual representation of design, which is what designers and clients really resonate with, and then organize that all together into a cloud-based platform. So on here, we see our account dashboard, which would show all of the projects that we're currently working on. It would have an index of all of the products in your library, and then images. And I think images are one of those things that we take for granted. It's this visual representation of what the design intent is, but there's often a gap between this image and the materials that would be required to make that come to life. And so what we're trying to do is really unify that in one platform. Everything is more or less built around these product profiles. The product profile is what we discussed. That is the central database of all of the relevant information, where we'll have images to put on mood boards and share with clients. We'll have manufacturers. We're actually adding an address book as we speak. We'll have the URL, spec sheets. Maybe it has a BIM object associated with it if it's an appliance. And again, instead of having these in separate folders, which every firm I've ever worked at, that's how it's been organized. We've unified it all and made it so that if one person maybe updates something, adds it to the collection, it benefits the collective of the studio. Now, if we go into one of the projects, so I'm actually currently working on this office renovation, we can see all of the different products that we're thinking about based on the categories, some of the images that we've shown to the clients. And then we have a schedule maker. We started as a schedule generating tool, but more and more as we showed this originally, people had a bigger issue with the way that materials were found and stored versus schedules. And so we really leaned in to the design side of this process. If we go into one of our finishes, we'll see that list of the products. We can go and search at any point. nice and simple, something that a lot of the project folders have a relatively difficult time doing. There's a few ways of adding products to your library. The simple one would be to search through previous projects. And so let's say I really like that faucet. I'm going to go and I'm going to add it nice and quick. If we go into your plumbing fixtures, oh, maybe it's not a plumbing. Well, that's the concept. Second one is basically just creating from scratch. It's as simple as that. But the one that we're really looking forward to or excited about is this browser extension, which really works into the flow of how designers go, where they're looking through different websites, and instead of writing things down in hand, saving them to a personal clipboard, what we'll do is save it to the overall library. So let's say I'm looking at this tile from Heath Ceramics. I'm going to simply open up the browser extension. We'll select the project that we're looking at. So it was the office renovation. It's going to scan the site's API, and then we're using OpenAI to kind of backfill some of that data because every API is written a little bit differently. If we want, we can add a different image. That one doesn't work. Love when a live demo doesn't work for you, right? It's got those SKUs, the model number, some of the price points. It'll grab the length. And again, instead of writing all of this stuff down, it's just quickening up, speeding up the process. And simple as that, we've saved it to our library. Now, the same process goes for images, right? Instead of saving these to different libraries, what we'll do is we'll go in here. I know I have a library for a kitchenette. This is something that I was looking at earlier today. I'm going to go in and quickly add that to the library. I'll say kitchen, and then maybe we'll add a description later on. The next step in this process is, again, really trying to unify this image with our material library. So the next step is saying like, hey, I love this tile. I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to find something within our library that matches. After that, we're looking to build on the marketplace. So all of these different brands and manufacturers, one of their hardest steps is getting in the door with all of these different companies. So imagine being able to advertise directly within their library. That's the kind of offer that we're looking to pursue, without it being too flashy and saying the only way that you can see these products is with an affiliate. That's not really how designers work. We are a lot more freeform than that. There's just too many different products out there, and we don't want to limit the creative process. This is also the MVP of Hearth. We have a ways to go, but this is what we have so far.
Very cool, Robert. So how do you envision this platform transforming? Like you said, it's MVP. Is it usable today? If not, when are you looking to go to market with it?
Oh yeah, we've already gone out. We have a few firms that are signed up as kind of pilot programs. The thing that we really want to do is just lean into the design process, right? So we're making a mobile app so that someone can say, I'm in a restaurant and I see the sconce that I love. I want to be able to take a picture, do the same scan, see if there's something in my current library or something within the market, and then add that to your own board or your own library. That's just one of the many things that we're thinking of adding to this process.
And in terms of cost tracking, is there a way for the architect to understand the cost of all the different materials as they're building out their library?
That's actually one of the things we've been asked recently, and we weren't focused on the pricing yet, but we know it's down the pipeline.
Very cool. Very cool. And you have a few pilot customers. So when will this be available for users to use widespread?
We are currently offering free trial now. If anyone goes on to sign, just go onto our website, sign up for a trial. They'll have full range of all the features. And really, it's a way to make sure that we're doing the things that our designers and builders really want. Funny enough, we've gotten a lot more people doing home renovations that have signed on to our app, and they're the ones who are liking it a lot. But it's not our ideal customer, but interesting to see the different use cases.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Definitely love to see what you're working on. Last demo day of 2025. I appreciate everybody joining. As a reminder, we'll be announcing our Q1 event on January 13th in San Francisco coming up. So it'd be great to have you out there. If you're not following us or everybody on this panel, please go do so at LinkedIn to stay up to date with where these technologies are evolving to. Any other questions, or if you have any questions about demo days in the future, feel free to reach out to me directly and I'll be happy to answer anything you have. So with that, we'll wrap up 2025 with this fantastic panel of presenters. And I look forward to seeing everybody in 2026 when we'll restart our demo days on the last Friday of each month at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So thanks again to our panelists, and thank you to the audience for watching all this cool stuff that's coming out into our industry.